Hello, welcome to another edition of Latino Paradox, where we talk about the reality of our population so big and all of this political power, attention being given, and the fact that we're still mired in these bad situations as a generation, another generation. With me is Ruben, Navarrette, Syndicated Columnist. I'm Arnold, Torres, political analyst. And the topic for today is the whole issue of ICE going after sanctuary cities now. The director of ICE, Tom Holman, was quoted the other day saying, quote, "In the America I grew up in, cities don't shield people who violated the law. The president recognizes that you've got to have a true interior enforcement strategy to make it uncomfortable for them." Okay, Ruben, under these circumstances and that mentality, who are we as Latinos in this context?
Right. In this context, we're people who sometimes don't look carefully enough at the details about a sanctuary city. The significance of this story is that it puts the lie to the idea that sanctuary cities even exist in the first place. And who we are as a people, we have typically been somebody who accepted at face value the charge that these cities were places where you could go to be safe if you were undocumented and live your life happily ever after. And it's not true.
I think who we are, we're at least in this case two very, very big elements. The population itself is a population that simply is confused, feels under siege, is afraid. And then the element that advocates, the political element, is concerned very much about protecting this community, but seems to be almost more concerned about wanting to fight. And I think as you fight, you draw more negative attention, and that's exactly what's going on. Our next question is, what do we want? And I'll open up by saying that what we want is some clarity and some recognition that the only error that we've made coming to the United States, the vast majority of our people, is that we want to survive. Yeah. And we want to contribute. And that's what we've done. Largely, that's what we've done. Do we have a criminal element in our community? We absolutely do. And I don't think that anybody in our community wants that criminal element, because most of the time that criminal element is committing crime in our own communities, not against outside, even though there are very celebrated cases like that. And I think that the other side, the political side of us, they want to fight. They want to stand up. They want to stand up to everything that Trump is doing. But I think that is not a very calculated move. That's not a very smart move. And I think these two things they clash with each other. We're not looking for a solution. What we're looking for is we want to respond to the confrontation. People are tired and they want to confront, but they didn't do it with Obama. And now they want to do it overboard with Trump.
Right. I think what we want in this case is two things. We want different things that are at our odds, things that are at conflict. We want a recognition, we want fairness and respect, and we want a recognition of the contributions of immigrants, a recognition that immigrants are the best thing about America, that we want people to come to the country legally, and we absolutely think that's a positive. And we also think that people who come illegally make a very significant contribution, and we should be honest about that. So we want that. But on the other hand, we are raised to respect law enforcement. Half of the Border Patrol is Hispanic. Many law enforcement officers, local, state, and federal level, are Hispanic. We all have members in our family who are somehow connected to law enforcement. Many of us do. And so we don't take lightly the idea that you just want to shrug off this idea of someone who broke the law, violated the law, being allowed to stay here. So we are conflicted. We're ambivalent about illegal immigration and what to do about it. So the answer to the question in terms of what we want things that are often in conflict.
Yeah. It's a very good point. Now, you open up, what are we doing wrong? Because this is a very, very sensitive issue.
We don't do enough critical thinking. We take at face value, as I said earlier, this idea that the political debate is as people in Washington say it is. And we don't accept the fact that politicians lie, and that sometimes Democrats lie to us, Republicans lie to us, and that in this case we don't apply enough critical thinking. And we don't scrutinize, as you said, our friends as much as we criticize our enemies. We need to do more of that. But in terms of critical thinking, just because somebody says that a city is a sanctuary city does not mean that ICE can't invade those cities with agents as they're doing now. So one of the things we do wrong is we believe politicians. We don't think for ourselves. We don't think critically. We need to do all of that when it comes to this issue of sanctuary cities.
I think that what we're doing wrong is that we are more engaged in in really overemphasizing what our enemies are and who our enemies are. We didn't do this with Obama. We have gone overboard to the point that we have now drawn that negative attention, that very, very important point that cannot be and should not be lost in this issue. I think that instead of trying to be the reason of the voice of reason, instead of being able to come and advocate a policy that's fair, because there's so many phenomenally good stories that show how families are being completely separated by people that are making phenomenal contributions. Those is what we need to protect. And we can't protect, and we should never protect, the gang members, the Mara Salvatrucha, all of the people who are committing crimes in our community against us. And we have confused the two. We have put them together, and now we are putting all people at risk. It isn't that we're throwing the bad guys under the bus. It's that we ourselves, if we loved everybody, then let's invite all the criminals into our homes. I don't see the liberal left on our community doing any of that. So this is what we're doing wrong, is that we're not looking for the path to some agreement. We just want to confront, and that is a disservice to the people that we're trying to serve and trying to help the most. Well, Ruben, we could have gone on another 10 minutes. I want to thank you, and I want to thank the people for watching us. I hope that you'll continue to watch and give us your comments, and we hope that you'll come back next week. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.